So, picking up where I left off in last week's monologue, Shedeur Sanders did get drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round. He was the 144th pick overall, and I guess it would be the Browns who would pick him since they seem to like getting quarterbacks that come with quite a bit of baggage. Johnny Manziel, anyone? You know, the guy who, when he got drafted, walked up on stage going, yeah, money, 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 money. And then what happened with his career? He lasted, what, a season or two in the NFL, if that. Then, of course, you got Deshaun Watson, who's on the Cleveland Browns roster right now with all his sexual misconduct allegations and a 5-year, $230 million contract that so far produced 9 wins in 3 seasons. What does that come out to per win? Because, I don't know. I mean, you know me. I suck at math. I can't figure that out. Well, John, why don't you use a calculator? Pfft. Yeah, that's too much effort, man. I'm sorry. And even before he puts on a Browns uniform, there's already controversy surrounding Shedeur Sanders. Now, not that it's controversy of his own making. Apparently, someone obtained his private number and made some prank calls to him during the draft. In one case, the caller claimed that they were from the New Orleans Saints. And boy, did that prank cost the Atlanta Falcons big time, because the son of their defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich, was one of the prank callers, and the NFL came down on them big time. Ulbrich, this is the defensive coordinator, not the son. Jeff Ulbrich got fined $100,000, and the entire Falcons organization got hit with a $250,000 fine for failing to protect Sanders' phone number. Now, I know Ulbrich's son is 21, so he's an adult, but still, there needs to be some punishment handed down to this knucklehead. I mean from the dad. I mean, I'm talking like, you took $100,000 out of my pocket for being stupid, so you're going to be doing chores around our house until you pay it off. And no, I don't care that you are 21. I guess we just can't have nice things anymore. So, how will Primetime's kid do in the NFL? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Going 144th overall in the draft doesn't mean you won't be able to do anything in the league. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have a really good career. Just like I pointed out last week, Tom Brady was the 199th pick overall in the draft, and he became the greatest quarterback in NFL history. It's not about where you get drafted. It's about what you make of the opportunity. And we'll see what Sanders makes of his opportunity. And speaking of quarterbacks, there are stories circulating that Blue Origin is going to do another celebrity space flight, or near space flight. One of the celebs that's supposed to be part of this flight, I almost want to say crew, but it's really not a crew. It would be list of passengers, I guess, because crew would imply that you're actually operating the craft, and that's not what they're going to do. Anyway, one of these celebs that is supposed to be part of this list of space tourists, if you want to call it that, is the new New York Giants quarterback, Jameis Winston, because I guess Jeff Bezos couldn't get a better quarterback to go on his little craft. I don't know. I guess Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson were all unavailable. And guess who is supposed to join him? The WNBA's biggest, most insecure brat, Angel Reese. Miss, stop paying attention to Caitlin Clark and pay attention to me, because I'm a great player too. Oh, man, so... Jeez. I mean, after the way that Gayle King and Katy Perry acted after they got back from their ride into almost space, and if you're wondering why I'm saying almost space, it's because all the news, all the reports basically say the last Blue Origin crew, they didn't actually go into space. They got up to, I think it's called the Kármán line. I forget the exact word of it. But basically, it's the line that delineates where our atmosphere ends and space begins. So they never passed that line, so technically they did not go into space. Anyway, as I say, after the way Gayle King, Katy Perry acted, after they got back from the ride into almost space, I can only imagine how insufferable Angel Reese is going to be. I mean, I'd like to think that this crew maybe learned or this group of passengers, I should say, learned their lesson after the last Blue Origin flight, but I doubt it. Now, truthfully, I don't know much about Jameis Winston's personality and how he might react going into near-Earth orbit, but you know that Angel Reese is going to make a way bigger deal out of this than it really is and try to play herself off as some kind of trailblazer and inspiration to girls everywhere. Well, Angel, newsflash for you. It ain't going to work. It didn't work with Katy Perry or Gayle King, and it ain't going to work with you. Why? Because this isn't 1983 when Sally Ride, who became America's first female astronaut, went into space. We've had plenty of actual women astronauts go into space since. Yeah, folks, 2 of those women actually died in the destruction of the shuttle Columbia back in 2003. And these are women who actually went through the astronaut training program, and I think it's like 2 years of astronaut training. I think you also have to tack on another year for whatever their mission specialty is going to be too. So let's say 3 years to become a full-fledged actual astronaut compared to, what was it, the 10 minutes of training that Katy Perry and her buddies got. So yeah, now to me, those are the people who are inspiring, not a bunch of space tourists, which is what Angel Reese and Jameis Winston would be, and which Katy Perry and Gayle King were. And here's the thing. I don't think they would have been absolutely hammered on social media as much as they were if they'd gone on their flight, go on their ride. I'll say that because I know Gayle King doesn't like when people calls it a ride. They go on their ride, they get back to the surface, and they go, wow, what an absolutely incredible sight that was, seeing Earth from that high up, and what an experience. That's just something I will never forget. If they had said something like that, everything would be cool, because I think any human being would have that reaction if they went up to near-Earth orbit and got a chance to see the Earth like that. Like I said, that would be the normal reaction. Instead, we got some kind of word salad from Katy Perry about connection and sisterhood and motherhood, and I don't know what the heck she was talking about, because the more I heard her talk, the more IQ points I lost. And by the way, I am going to say this. You can't tell me that Katy Perry wasn't on something when she made that flight and got back. But hopefully for Jameis Winston and Angel Reese, they blast off, they enjoy their 11 minutes in near space, and they accept it for what it is, a trip. Jameis Winston might do that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the guy's personality. Angel Reese, I doubt she's going to do that. Even if this actually happens, because there are also stories going around the internet saying that Winston and Reese and Young Thug, who I guess is a rapper, I don't know, I never heard of the guy, and Kendall Jenner actually are not part of this Blue Origin list of passengers. Apparently, I guess this might be fake news. It might be real. I don't know. I guess we'll find out sooner or later. All right, folks, 928-541-1016, number to call here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Break time on the show. We come back. We're going to be talking some track and field with Chino Valley's track and field head coach. That is Mark Metz. He will be on the other side of the break, and we'll be back after this. We are back here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here. And next week, we are going to have the divisional state track and field meets. So all our local schools are getting ready for that. Prescott, Bradshaw Mountain, Mare, and, of course, Chino Valley. And they've had some exceptional track and field athletes this year, and they are ready to make their mark at the divisional meet. And after that, we will have the full state meet, which will be athletes from all the divisions competing against one another. And we'll be talking a little more about that here on the phone. Let's go to the phone. And we are going to be talking with Mark Metz. He is the head coach of the Chino Valley track and field team. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
So, again, Coach, next week starts the divisional meets, and I believe, Chino, you guys are, what is it, Division 3 or Division 4 you're in?
We're in Division 4 for track.
Okay. So, honestly, sometimes it's kind of hard to keep track. No pun intended. Keep track of, like, which division is everyone in? I can't remember here. But,
yes. We are Division 3 for cross country, but we're Division 4 in track, so I totally get it.
Yeah. Thank you, AIA, for making things so confusing.
Exactly.
But anyway, things are going really well for Chino Valley Track and Field. Certainly, quite a few ladies who are looking like they're going to be making some big marks there. And one of them has to be Carly Murphy. She's been in first place or in the top 5 in a whole lot of invitationals, a whole lot of regular season meets. So what are your expectations for Carly heading into the divisional and hopefully ultimately the state championship meet?
Well, yeah, Carly, I'm really excited because she's a 3-sport athlete and did well in cross country, but at the end of the season was having some sickness and didn't finish the way she wanted to. And then she played basketball and then got into track and still wasn't doing well. And we had her tested and she was low in iron. So we got that figured out. And once we got that figured out, she's, like you said, she's been up in high places and winning meets. And I expect her to do really well. She's really motivated in the 2-mile. Right now, she's right looking to try to get on that podium for state. And then in the mile, she really wants to get down and get that time down. And she's ranked in the top 15 in the mile, along with the other girls as well.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Carly Murphy, some good news here. She will be running at college, and she's going to keep it local. And I don't know what it is with Coach Bray. He's really dipping into his own backyard here because we already have one of your former charges, Dylan Eisner, part of the Riddle cross country and track team. Actually, Bray's daughter, who was a great runner at Prescott, McKenna Bray, she's over there too. He also picked up David Richards from the Prescott cross country and track and field teams. And now Carly Murphy will also be running for Coach Bray up at Embry-Riddle next season.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. She was wanting to run at the next level, and she just was looking at different schools. And then, like, mentioned earlier, that she got her times down. And then I talked to Chris saw him at a college meet and just saw him, and we talked, and I said, you're going to get a worker, you're going to get a hard worker, you're going to get a good athlete, and somebody to bring just a positive impact to the team. So I'm so excited that she's going to be running there.
Yeah, and another one who's looking really good going into the state meet is Matt Seibel in the javelin. Actually, we have 2 really good javelin throwers in this area. Matt Seibel for Chino. We got Luke Mason over at Prescott. So kind of anxious to see what they're going to do. But just talk about how Matt is looking as he gets ready for the postseason.
Yeah, he's looking pretty strong. He's kind of been up there in the 140s. His best is 144.8. And just trying to get up there. Last year, he barely made it into the state meet, and he was super excited. So I'm working here and just being able to, make the state meet and being one of the top contenders. He'd like to get up and be a scoring, which is top 8 at state, and just being able to be there and compete and get better this year has been really good for him.
Mm-hmm. And, well, another guy who is looking to make a big splash at the state divisional meets, and that is Michael Colasano, and he's just been killing it in the pole vault this season.
Yes, he's doing really well. At the last meet we had on Tuesday, he got 14-1 and was really excited, got second place, and he's just kind of hopefully putting together and peaking at the right time. He's done really well, and what's been so great about him is, him and really it was only Olivia Calzano, his sister, and Michael throughout the pole vault for us. But we started getting new equipment, and then we got some. Now we finally got some new pole vaulters. So he's been great as a coach, and so I think that has helped him as well. Is going through the kids, and so his own efforts this year has been in good results. But man, for him, only just being able to coach them too has been awesome for him, and I think it's really helped him as well.
Yeah, and another one. It looks like when it comes to the relays on the girls' side, the 4x800 meter relay team. That looks like one of your strongest events too. Again, you got Carly Murphy in there. You got Zoe Nagel, and you got two other girls on that relay. Coach, I think you might know them a little bit.
He's sleeping now.
Sorry, was that Coach?
Yeah, four right. Well, they're probably sleeping in right now after working hard. So this week, but yeah, we are looking great. We are ranked third right now, but man, there's some good teams in there, like Push Ridge out of Tucson, and of course, when you always about every sport, you have Snowflake, and Snowflake girls are really good. Seems like in every sport. For us to be up there is awesome. So I'm really excited for, you mentioned Carly, you mentioned girls, Zoe Nagel. Those four have been so good to coach this year. And
Hey, Coach? Coach, are you there?
Pushing Jeff.
Yeah, Coach, you're breaking up a little bit there. Actually, I think you broke up before we mentioned your daughters, Eliana and Maddie Metz. So I wanted to get that in there. But, yeah, you kind of broke up a little when you were talking about them.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maddie and I.
Yeah.
Each other.
Hey, Coach, you're still breaking up there. I don't know if you can maybe move over somewhere and maybe get a little better reception somewhere.
I'm trying.
Hey, Coach?
Yes. Is it better now? Hello?
Yeah, I think I can hear. I think you might got a little better now.
Okay. No, about Eliana and Maddie?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, they're doing well. The four of them with Zoe, Maddie, Eliana, and Carly have been pushing each other the whole season. And, they're really competitive to each other, but they're really good teammates, and they want to see each other succeed. So having those four girls together, it has been easy for me to coach, and their work ethic has just been awesome. And those four, they're inspired by our boys team last year. So they want to do something special like the boys did last year in the 4x8.
And, well, speaking of Maddie Metz, just like Carly, she's going to be moving on to the next level, except she's not going to be staying local. She's going to be going over to the land of cheese and Green Bay Packers. She's going to Wisconsin Lutheran College to run.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. She had a few offers, and she really went and visited with my wife there earlier this year, and she really likes it there, and it's a good school. She wants to be a teacher, so they have a good teaching program, but she's going to be a good contributor to that team, and I'm very excited for her. Have to get her some warm clothes, though, in Wisconsin.
Oh, definitely. But, so, Coach, as we get set for the postseason, are there any other athletes who I didn't mention who people should be keeping an eye on as we get into the divisional rounds here?
Well, you mentioned the individuals. Our boys 4x8 team, they put it together, and I was kind of a little bit shocked by that, especially losing what we did last year. And Landon Smith was my only returner from that team, the 4x8 team. And Landon, he really was kind of into the sprints, and then he did the 800, and Tuesday he got a 202. So he's going to make it individually there. And then our boys 4x8 team, you have Ty Lelugata, Jacob Span, and Enzo Wiley. They came in and ran 840, so they qualified for the state meet as well.
Okay. And so next week, where is the Division IV meet going to take place?
It's going to be at Deer Valley, and I think that's where Bradshaw and Prescott are also going to be.
Okay. And now after that, from what I understand, like some of the top finishers in all the divisions, they will then compete at the overall state championship meet. That's going to be at Mesa College, I believe, the 17th and 18th of May.
Yeah, it's the next weekend. So I hope, some individuals, maybe our relay team, especially the girls 4x8, we can make it into that meet. Just kind of depends on how you do it at the division state meet.
Okay. Well, Coach, again, we want to thank you very much for joining us here on Tri-City Sports Roundup, and certainly best of luck to you. Best of luck to the Chino Valley track and field team as you get set for the Division IV state meet next week. And, of course, you can stick with KYCA, and we will be bringing you the major results of all of our track and field teams as they take part in their respective divisional meets next week. Again, Coach Mark Metz, Chino Valley track and field team, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the show. And as I said, best of luck to you and the Cougars next week.
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, folks, we're coming up to another break here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. But before we go to break, it's time to see who shined It's time to see who shined over the past 7 days as we present the Tri-City Sports Roundup 3 Stars of the Week. Starting with the ladies, our number 3 star is McKenna Bray of the Embry-Riddle track and field team. She placed 4th in the 1,500-meter run and 7th in the 5,000-meter run at the GSAC Championship meet last Friday. The number 2 star is Kinsey Murphy of the Chino Valley softball team. She fanned 9 in the Lady Cougars' 3-2 loss to Coolidge in the state play-in round Wednesday. And our number 1 star of the week is Leah Solis of the Embry-Riddle softball team. She had a 3-run homer in the Lady Eagles' 7-1 triumph over Park in the GSAC tournament on Wednesday. Now for the guys, our number 3 star is Brody Hanna of the Prescott baseball team. He made a home run robbing catch with a man on third in the 6th inning in the Badgers' 9-8 win over ALA Gilbert North last Saturday. The number 2 star is Cooper Magnet of the Prescott baseball team. He had a walk-off groundout in the Badgers' 10-9 extra inning win over Crimson Monday. And our number 1 star of the week is Jackson Schofield of the Yavapai College baseball team. He had a walk-off home run in the Rough Riders' 7-5 win over Cochise last Saturday. So congratulations to all our 3 stars of the week. Break time here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We'll be back, and when we come back, I'm going to preview the game that we are going to have today on the team, 1450 a.m. KNOT. Starting at 11 a.m., we will be broadcasting the opening round of the 4A Conference State Baseball Tournament. Prescott will host Flagstaff, a Grand Canyon region matchup to kick off the state tournament. So that'll be at 11 a.m. on our sports station, The Team, 1450 a.m. KNOT. Oh, by the way, you can also listen to that game online at theteam1450.com. And you can also download the apps for the Team 1450 from the Apple or Android store. So we'll be previewing that game for you coming up on the other side of the break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here. And for those of you listening on the radio side, I think I picked a pretty good bumper song there with Warren Zevon's Excitable Boy. Our board op, Scotty, getting into that. Can't say I blame him. Excitable Boy is one heck of a good, well, then against Warren Zevon, probably the most esoteric and eclectic singer-songwriter out there, even though Excitable Boy is a good one. And, of course, there's the staples of, Werewolves of London and Lawyers, Guns, and Money. One of my all-time favorites is still Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner. Oh, man, I love it. In fact, there's a T-shirt out there for Roland the Headless Thompson Gunner. One of these days I got to get that. Anyway, going past music now. Of course, we got a big doings today on our sports station, The Team, 1450 AM, KNOT. We will be broadcasting the opening round of the 4A Conference State Baseball Tournament with Prescott, the Badgers, the number 3 seed. You heard me on our 3 Stars of the Week segment. Those 2 big wins that Prescott got, first over ALA Gilbert North, then over Crimson. Both of them were in the top 10 in power points when the week started. So those victories really pushed Prescott way up there in the PowerPoint rankings. So they go into this tournament the number 3 seed, and they will be hosting Flagstaff, who go in as the number 14 seed. And even though that seems like a mismatch on paper, hey, folks, we cannot take Flagstaff lightly. The Eagles coming into this contest with a 19-9 record. They also have a very good head coach in Kenny Macias, and he was the longtime assistant coach for Flagstaff before he took over the reins and became the head coach. In fact, the last 2 years, he was named the Grand Canyon Region Coach of the Year. And Flagstaff coming off a 6-1 victory over Douglas on Wednesday in the state play-in round. Eagles riding a 5-game winning streak, and just certainly a team that is loaded with quite a bit of talent. You got a guy, C2, Colin Calander. This is a guy who is number 6 in the region in batting average. He's hitting a .449 clip, 1 home run, 14 RBIs. Definitely someone you got to watch out for. Payne Lowry hitting .378 with 18 ribbies, also 11 stolen bases. Then you go further down the row here. Brody Johnson, who was an all-region. Why am I saying all-conference? Because I'm thinking of college, I think. An all-region honorable mention last year. 5th in the region in batting average at .453, 19 runs scored, a .660 slugging percentage. Then you got Will Carpenter, who's hitting .354, 2 homers, 15 RBIs. Very good pitcher, too. 4-2, a 1.76 ERA, 37 strikeouts. I believe, however, I'm trying to remember. I think he did pitch Wednesday's game, so it might not be him who is going to no, actually, correction on, yeah, so it might not be him that's going to pitch. It might be Connor Iniguez, who could be pitching today. He's another good one, 5-3 with a 2.31 ERA. That's the 5th best ERA in the Grand Canyon region. Also, 62 strikeouts to lead the region. So basically, Flagstaff has a pretty good 1-2 punch on the mound. And then also at the plate, another guy to bring up is Jace Adams, who's hitting .405, 25 RBIs this season, a .527 slugging percentage, 18 runs scored. Also, not a bad guy to bring in. He seems like a guy who comes out of the bullpen, but pretty good guy to come in, throw late in the game. 1-0, a 1.75 ERA with 9 strikeouts in 8 innings. So yeah, Flagstaff. Yeah, they're number 14, but Flagstaff is definitely loaded for bear here. Meanwhile, you got Prescott. Prescott, the Grand Canyon Region champions, they're at 17-5 on the season. And I think the big thing with Prescott going in here are, again, those 2 games I mentioned in the 3 Stars of the Week segment. One where they got the win over ALA Gilbert North, a 9-8 victory. Brody Hanna with the big catch there in left field to take away what probably would have been the game-winning home run for ALA Gilbert North. And then the Badgers on Monday, not only coming back once, but twice against Crimson, including in the 8th inning when Prescott put on a little hit parade. And Cooper Magnet, I don't know if the guy's ever run faster in his life than he did, going from home to first to try to to try to hit the bag before the ball got there, but a walk-off RBI ground out. How many times do you get to say that? But Cooper Magnet did it, got the win there, 10-9 over Crimson. So I think having those two games against two really good teams in ALA Gilbert North and Crimson. In fact, both of them are going to be in the state tournament today, obviously. ALA Gilbert North, they are the number 7 seed in the playoffs. They're going to be taking on number 10 Scottsdale Saguaro today. Crimson, they're the number 8 seed in the tournament. They're actually going to be taking on Bradshaw Mountain today. So best of luck to the Bears in that one. Bears have had a pretty darn good season. And the winner of that game, well, they might have the honor of taking on the number 1 ranked team in the state. Winner of that game, they'll be taking on Saul Point Catholic versus St. Mary's. Saul Point Catholic, number 1 in the state. St. Mary's, number 16. So again, Prescott got to match up against two very, very quality teams and beat two very, very quality teams, both by 1 run. So I think that will get them way ready for what lies ahead in the postseason. I think that's a lot better than just kind of tearing through the region and just getting blowout win after blowout win. Now they get a couple of really good wins against some quality teams. Their confidence is high, and we'll see how well they do. Again, we talked about the really good pitching that Flagstaff has. Prescott's got some pretty good pitching too. They got a pretty good 1-2 punch as well with Adrian Sandiford, who I imagine would get the start today because Travis Gates, he threw a whole bunch in Monday's game against Crimson. And Gates, 6th in the conference in ERA at 2.36. Adrian Sandiford, 4-2. A little bit high on the ERA side, 4.33, but 37 strikeouts in 42 innings. And I think as we saw, especially during the Bradshaw game, sometimes Sandiford can get into jams, but more often than not, the dude is able to pitch himself out of it. So he kind of knows when to really turn it on in those pressure cooker situations. And like I said, it looks like it'll probably be I would imagine it would be Adrian Sandiford on the hill today for Prescott. And again, just really up and down the lineup. Prescott is pretty darn solid. Ivan Schuster hitting .333 with 14 RBIs. Also 36 runs scored. That's second in the Grand Canyon region. Then you got Nick Martin, just a sophomore, but what a season he's having. A .485 average, third best in the region, 19 RBIs. Also number 1 in the region in runs scored and number 3 in the region in on-base percentage at 593. Colton Champion's been doing very well, 18 RBIs. Of course, Colton Champion, he's signed to play at Arizona Christian University, who last I checked the NAIA national rankings, they were number 16 in the nation. Lucas Tobin, who's leading the region in batting average with a .538 clip, 28 RBIs. 4th most in the Grand Canyon region. How about this? A .708 slugging percentage. That's the 3rd best in the region. And Tobin, he plans to walk on at Yavapai College to continue his career. Cooper Magnet, this is a guy who's done he had a really good basketball season, having a really good baseball season. He's actually 2nd behind Tobin in batting average in the region with a .536 clip. He's got 25 RBIs, 21 runs scored, a .696 slugging percentage, 4th best in the region. Oh, .618 on base percentage for Coop, best in the region. So, again, two really good teams going at it. I think we're going to be in for a very good game here today. And you folks, you get to hear it on the team, 1450 a.m., KNOT, starting at 11. Myself and Kelly Cordes will have the call over at Prescott High School. And if the Badgers do win that game, they will be in action Monday, and it will again be a home game. Again, Prescott, the number 3 seed, so they will be taking on the winner of Sahuarita and Deer Valley. Sahuarita, the number 6 seed in the playoffs. Deer Valley, the number 11 seed, and just rounding out the rest of the playoff bracket here. ALA Queen Creek, they're number 2. They're taking on number 15 Micah Mountain today. Number 4 Cactus Shadows against number 13 Mesquite High School, the alma mater of perhaps the greatest violinist in the world right now, Lindsey Sterling. Number 5 Ironwood Ridge, they are taking on number 12 Yuma. And as I mentioned previously, number 7, ALA Gilbert North. They will be taking on number 10, Scottsdale Saguaro. And number 8, Crimson. They will be going up against number 9, Bradshaw Mountain. Again, the winner of that game will face either Salt Point Catholic or St. Mary's on Monday. So, going to be a lot of great baseball action going on. Speaking of great baseball action, postseason action, deciding game of the Region 1 baseball playoffs taking place in Nevada today. Yavapai College, they will be taking on Southern Nevada. Yavapai winning Game 2 yesterday after dropping Game 1 to the Coyotes. So best of luck to Coach Pat Woods and his bunch out there. And also some more postseason stuff. Well, unfortunately, Embry-Riddle softball could not make it 4 conference titles in a row. They went into Thursday going up against Arizona Christian for the championship. Unfortunately, Riddle getting shut out in the first game 4-0. That forced the if necessary game. Riddle tried to come back there. Unfortunately, fell short 4-3 to Arizona Christian. They do have a shot at making the NAIA World Series regional rounds. We'll just see how things go. I think it's May 7th when they will decide on who will be playing there. And also some other news coming out of Embry-Riddle softball. But Autumn Salusi, their third baseman, one of their top players, just a junior, well, she's going to be leaving school early because she already has a job lined up as an air traffic controller in Oklahoma City. So best of luck to Autumn Salusi. Had a great 3-year career for Embry-Riddle. She was a multi-time all-CalPAC first-team selection. In fact, her freshman season, she set the record in the CalPAC conference for most RBIs in a season. I think she had 53 that season. So Autumn Salusi certainly made her mark on this Embry-Riddle softball team and certainly helped them reach great heights. The Riddle softball team, 3 straight years CalPAC conference champions, tried for their first GSAC championship this year. Unfortunately, it was not meant to be. So, but still, best of luck to Autumn Salusi as she goes from softball player to now air traffic controller. It's a cool thing about Embry-Riddle where, these players graduate and they've got some incredible jobs lined up. I think I've mentioned this before where a few years ago on the softball team, we had McKaylee Davidson, CalPAC Region Player of the Year. And I still love this where in her senior day ceremony, they said, McKaylee Davidson will be working for an undisclosed agency within the Department of Defense. And I'm like, it was this undisclosed agency. It's like, what are you going to be doing? Like, trying to track down like UAPs or what the heck ever? Again, unidentified aerial phenomena, what they used to call UFOs. I think I'm just still going to call them UFOs. That's what I'm used to anyway. But, and we did mention about some of Coach Metz's track and field athletes moving on to college. Well, this week, several Chino Valley athletes signed for college. Ben Seibel, he's going to Hiram College in Ohio to continue his football career. Lily Klein of the soccer team, she's going to be playing for Northern Colorado. Mari Holiday, also from the soccer team, she's going to keep it local. She's going to go to Yavapai College. Jackson Hawks, he will be playing for the Ottawa University men's soccer team. So we'll likely see him up here in Prescott since Ottawa and Embry-Riddle are both in the GSAC. Aiden Hubble from the softball team, she will also be staying local. She will be playing for Yavapai College, who actually wrap up their regular season today down in Yuma at Arizona Western. And then, of course, we had just a slew of Prescott athletes signing, especially with the baseball team. As I mentioned before, Colton Champion, he's going to Arizona Christian. Ivan Schuster, he actually signed with Allegheny College in Meadville, Pennsylvania, which is pretty much on the other side of the state from where I was in New Jersey. That's closer to like Lake Erie. And mentioned this on our broadcast with at the Bradshaw game, but Allegheny College, their mascot name is the Gators. And I still don't understand that. It's like you're in Pennsylvania and there are no alligators in Pennsylvania. So why are you calling yourself the Gators? Then again, Penguins aren't native to Pittsburgh, so who knows? Adrian Sandiford, he said we heard on this show, he's committed to Glendale College. Again, Colton Champion, he's going to be going to Arizona Christian. Also, probably one of the big ones is Ashley Bates, part of the Prescott Spirit line. She signed with NAU, and I think according to Missy Townsend, Ashley Bates is only the second member of the Spirit line in like the last decade to actually sign to continue cheerleading at college, and she's doing it for a D1 school. So best of luck to her. And folks, those cheerleaders really put in a whole lot of work. They got to stay in really good shape to do all their routines and everything. So certainly more power to Ms. Bates, and best of luck to her up there at NAU. Well, folks, that's going to do it for our show here today. Thank you very much for joining us on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Healthline with Dr. David Hancock coming up next. Then we've got Drive Time AZ at 10, followed by Ion Prescott at 11. And don't forget, over on the team, 1450 AM KNOT at 11 o'clock this morning, we have the state playoff game opening round, Prescott versus Flagstaff. Myself and Kelly Cortez will be doing the play-by-play for that. Again, thanks for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. We will see you again next week. Have yourselves a good one.